Hello everybody! Have you ever started a build, then stepped back to look at your work and thought, wow, that looks just like a big box? Yeah, it happens to me all the time too. So I'd like to share a few things that I like to do to help make my boxy builds look a lot less boxy. So let's kick back a few meads and start building. My first tip is to work with the natural terrain instead of against it by flattening and clear cutting the area first. That just makes an already boxy looking build look like you placed a shoebox on the kitchen table. This way makes your build look like it was built into the landscape instead of on top of it. Plus, using the side of a hill like this, you can put a cellar in your build with very little digging and effort. There. Now we can go ahead and start on our foundation. We'll start today with the foundation, which is basically a stone rectangle that measures 14 by 22 meters. There, just like that. And we're going to frame in our structure with ironwood for the support, and we were going to go 8 meters above the foundation. Now we'll frame in and add the roof, giving it a 1 meter overhang on all 4 sides. Except on the 2 short walls, we're going to extend the ironwood beams out by 1 meter like this. And now we'll add our 45-degree beams to finish framing our roof. Here we'll snap an X piece, which will allow us to snap in our 45-degree pieces like that. Give us a clean peek. Alright, now we want to add the shingles. So we're going to use our tarwood roof, and we're going to make sure that it's snapped onto the outside like that, so we get our overhang. Now for the back side, we'll just carry this all the way across because it's not going to have any features on it. It's going to be a flat roof, or a plain roof. There, just like that. Now let's add the roof to the front side. And for the front, we're going to do a couple dormer style windows. So we'll do 1 row of shingles up the side like that. Now we'll take a 45-degree beam and we'll frame this out just like that. And taking a 45-degree inside corner, we'll place 2 like that. Finish filling in our regular flat roofs. And then finish off our little dormer by adding 2 more 45-degree inside corners. Then we can fill this in. Now we'll do the same for this side. Just like that. And since we're up here, it's a good time to dress this up. There, now we can get to work on the inside. And when building big structures like this, I like to do the roof first. That way the rest of the structure doesn't get rain damaged. Plus, if you goof on the roof and it doesn't line up right, it's not so much to tear down and start over. Now we can add some trim in the form of dark wood beams and poles. And these cover up the ironwood very nicely. Our walls total 8 meters tall, which is 2 4-meter stories. So when I build something that is 4 meters with 4-meter wall height, I like to do the bottom row in half walls. I like to do a center row in the normal 2-meter walls, and then do a third row of half walls again. This way the battens make a consistent pattern all the way around in the interior. And it looks just like a giant shoebox. Even though it has a nice roof, it's still very plain, but we can go ahead and fix that. So we'll start around back with the chimney, which I'm not really a big fan of chimneys on smaller buildings, but on large buildings like this it can really add a little bit of texture to your outside. And we want to bring the foundation out a little bit to keep that 1 meter overhang like we have everywhere else. Here, now we can add the chimney going up. Here I'm just going to use half walls and regular walls, keeping with the same theme, with 1 row of half walls followed by regular walls followed by half walls again. That way our battens keep the same design all the way around. Right, now for the interior, we'll start by knocking out a hole for our doorway, just so we can visualize where it goes. We'll work on the entranceway in a bit, and we'll knock this portion out so we can add a little dining area to the outside. For my second tip, I like to break up the boxiness of a square build by adding rounded elements, like this dining area, which is basically just half of a gazebo attached to our structure. Now for our roof, we want to give a 1 meter overhang. So we'll take our 1 meter beam and set the edge 2. We'll put one there perpendicular. Then we'll turn it 2 clicks and do the same thing. And we'll do that all the way around. And now we'll take our 26-degree roof pieces and snap them onto those. We're going to shift place an iron beam, just like that, so it's in between the 2 snap points there and that on the half wall. I'll give it 2 clicks, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Then we'll connect them like that. It doesn't have to be pretty because this is going to be hidden. Now we'll take our stone floor and we're going to snap it, make sure it snaps to those half walls. Like that. And now we'll just cover up the stone floors with some wood flooring And as long as at least half of this floor tile is connected to the stone, we will not suffer rain damage. It also counts for the 1x1 tiles. There, now we effectively have a flat wooden roof that does not take rain damage and offers shelter underneath. And it looks nice. Now we're going to take these two out for just a second. Now we're going to add a hanging brazier. Put our stone back. And now we'll cover it with a wooden ceiling. But sometimes you have to go place it too deep, just because the stone texture pops through. There. Now we'll finish this off and move on to the next little project. Alright, now let's add our second story. Yeah, this is just going to be a balcony, so the rest of this is going to be open. And here we'll add a bay window. It's one of my favorite ways to add both visual interest and texture to the outside. We'll start with a 1 meter beam, placed at 45-degree angle. There, there, and there. Same for the other side. And then we'll connect the others like this. Then we'll add some poles to the corners. Just like that. The bottom gets filled in with 1x1 walls. And the top gets filled in with crystal windows. The bottom will fill in with 1x1 floors. And the top will just shift place a couple of beams. Just like that. I'm going to add another bay window to this side, but it's going to be slightly taller. But it follows the exact same process. There, that is one big bay window. Now we'll go ahead and extend the foundation out underneath the addition that we put on. We'll give it some temporary ironwood support so to help us to snap our stone to. There, now we can remove our ironwood supports. It doesn't look too bad at all. Now it's time for our main entrance, and since we're going to put in a doorway to the cellar, I like to use this design feature like on the Great Hall at Castle Gideon, where the doorway to the lower level is built into the stonework for the stairs. There, that doesn't look too bad at all. We're looking a lot less like a shoebox now than we did before. Now for the entranceway. We're just going to fix this up a little bit. And then we're going to bring this doorway out 1 meter. Just using the 1x1 walls. And we're just going to close in the top. Add a couple dark wood gates. Add a little trim. Probably should make this a little bigger though. So here we'll add some temporary snapping points. Then we'll snap some stone floors to those. There, now there's plenty of room to get up and down. And the prep work for our basement is going to be an ease because we build into the side of a hill. We have to do very little flattening and pickaxe work. And as we get back to our interior, we'll finish up our hearth by adding the decorative chimney. We use the same build pieces that we use for the walls so all the seams line up nicely. Now here we're going to put two 26-degree wall pieces. And here we're going to put two inverted 45-degree wall pieces. And here we're going to put some dark wood dividers. Just like that, giving them a turn after each placement. And we're going to get these 2 rows. Just like that. And we want to have these placed so that in the center that forms a circle like that. Now we'll go back to our 45-degree wall pieces. And we'll put two 45-degree inverted wall pieces. Like that, so it makes a diamond shape. Then we'll take some 45-degree wall pieces. And we want to snap them so they're like, just like that, where the angle piece is on the roof. And we'll just go up that way about 3 pieces. And now we'll put 2 inverted pieces like that. And we'll finish boxing this in. Kind of gives us an open chimney look where it vents the smoke up to the top. It's kind of unique. I like it. And now we'll give it some dark wood trim. Still looks a little flat though. Let's give it some more texture. We'll start by 26-degree beam there. Then we'll put another one right on top of it. Which then give us snap points where we can carry that design up the rest of the way. There, that looks kind of interesting. And the final touch for the fireplace is a little safety grate. There. Okay, now to dress up our stairway, we'll take some 26-degree wall pieces. Do about 3 of those. And then switch over to a regular angle piece. Now we'll just box these in. And here we'll just leave this open from now. This is going to be access to our cellar. But now we want to put our bar in, which is just going to consist of half walls. There's a pretty spacious bar. Now we should put our top in. Now for our backer, we just want to shift place this so it's about even with those walls we put in. Now we can go ahead and shift place our top. Start one side there. And maybe one side there. Once you're happy with your overhang, then you can carry it over the rest of the way. And of course, don't forget the trim work. And we can also trim out the second floor. I think we use dark wood for this. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's do a railing. Yeah, we're starting to come together now. Alright, let's start putting some tables in here. First we'll put a couple blue jute rugs down. Then switch into our 1 meter pole. I'll put one in the center. Now switching to our 1 meter beam on edge 2, we'll just go all the way around. One click at a time. There. Now the thirsty Vikings have somewhere to stand and drink their mead while looking over the balcony. Let's do one more here. Alright, let's put a booth in here, but since we don't really have a lot of room, let's add an extended bay window. We'll start by knocking these out. We'll go out 1 meter before we start our bay. Here we'll do something a little different, and we will put a 26-degree angle, just like that, on each side. We'll fill in the sides. Add our 26-degree roof pieces. Add the tops of our bay. Add in our glass. And we'll just seal our floor up. There, we have a nice little bay window extension. Now we'll just frame it in and add our booth. So here we'll go ahead and free place a half wall there. And also we'll place one here. Just want to keep them about even. Then a 1/4 wall, or a 1x1 there. And we'll put a 1/4 wall on each end. Now we'll put some comfy chairs in. There you can fit about 6 in. We'll do the other side too. And now we'll just go ahead and throw a table down. That's a decent little booth. We'll finish our stairway. Here we'll put some arches in as decoration. You know, kind of separate this booth from the rest of the floor. There, now our booth kind of feels like it's got its own little space aside from the rest of the balcony. And while we're here, we might as well finish up our eaves. So here we're just going to get rid of those temporary pieces. And add our 45-degree beams to the outside. And we won't need these either. Now here we'll go to our 45-degree wall pieces. We cover up all the ironwood. Now we want to take our inverted 45-degree wall and snap one at the top in the center like that, and then 2 there. And then we want to take one and snap it to that corner piece like that. Same on the other side. I'll take one of our regular 45-degree walls and finish it like that. Now we can put a design here in the center. I'd like to turn those 2 clicks just for visual interest. And here we'll take some 26-degree beams, and they'll just snap right in like that. Yeah, that looks kind of interesting. Let's do the smaller windows too. Okay, for the smaller window, we want to remove this trim piece and add a temporary snap point that is right center with the peak of this window. Now to that we want to snap a 45-degree wall piece, just like that. Now's a good time to put our trim piece back in. I'll take a 45-degree beam and snap one to the top of that wall like that. And like that. Put one 2-meter beam there and one on top of it, turned at an angle like before. Put a couple of horizontal beams in. And here we'll just put in the 26-degree cross piece. Like that, it fits pretty nice. Now we'll take another 45-degree wall piece and put one on each side. It's like that to fill in the gaps. And then we'll go around and fill in the rest of the gap with our half walls. Now we'll just do a mirror image on the other side. There, that looks pretty good. And it'll keep bats out of our belfry too. Now it'll be a lot easier to dress up our hanging brazier before we put a table in here. So we're going to take an item stand and put it about dead centers for a visual reference. And with the arrow pointing to the outside, we're going to move it off, and then just when it comes back on, we'll place it. And using that same method, we'll go all the way around. There. Now I'll break out the center one. Now we'll add Drake trophies to it this time. There, just like that. That looks pretty cool. Now right here about center, we'll put a blue rug and a round table. There. Looks like a nice little private dining area. And here we're just going to put a half wall as a little divider. And to dress it up and make it look a little beefier, we'll go ahead and just replace another half wall to the back and carry that out. And then we'll just go ahead and add one top. I have a nice little room divider. So when Brenna built this place, she decided to have the fermenters and mash tanks in the open so her patrons could sip on their ales while watching the next batches being prepared. We'll start with the mash tanks by building a stand for them with a fire underneath. We're going to start by placing a 1x1 wall where we want the edge of our tank, just like that. And then taking in a 1-meter pole and turning it one click to the left, we'll put one there. And we'll put one here, but turn it one click to the right. And get rid of our temporary wall piece. Now we'll take a 1-meter beam, place it there like that. And then we'll go around clicking twice to give us a circle shape. And here we'll go back to our 1 meter pole, and we'll turn one click to the right, and here we'll take it one click to the left, and that is our stand for our first mash tank. Here we want to replace one 1 meter beam, followed by a second one right there. And now we just want to replace one iron 1x1 cage floor, like that. Now to that we're going to go ahead and put about 3 item stands. We'll go ahead and add our circling trophies to it so it looks like there's a fire underneath. Then here we want to add 3 meters of pole, just like that. And around the outside we want the edge to stick out like that. And we'll go all the way around. Now we want to fill these in with 1x1 wall pieces, but we want the battens facing outside, just for visual interest. That looks pretty neat. Let's do one more though. There, now we have 2 tanks for cooking our mash in. That's pretty neat. Here we'll need a catwalk so we can get up there. Here we'll need our fermenters. So go ahead and build a stand for those. We'll give it a little storage though. So we'll put our shutters down and then we'll pull a chest through so we get a drawer pull. Just like that. And same for this side. There. Your brew house can never have too much storage. I'll put in a couple of fermenters. And then we'll finish this off. Yeah, it's not too shabby. Now we just need our safety railing so OSHA's happy. And maybe these are hinged like a gate. So I'll put a couple like that. So maybe Brewmeister Smith is up here working on this one. Let's move this for a second. In this tank we'll give it the impression that it's full. So go ahead and put a 1x1 floor there. And right about there we'll put a vertical item stand. We'll attach one golem trophy to it. We'll take a 1x1 floor and we'll replace it. Right about there looks okay. Then we'll do another one like that. Then we'll take a blue jute rug and we want to place it right about there. It's going to hang over on this side, but we won't be able to see it unless we come up here. Then we'll finish our railing again. And from up here it looks like there's a big vat of mash being cooked, getting ready for the fermenter. Okay, now it's time to get some trim work done and add a couple more windows to our build. This looks like a hot spot, so maybe Brewmeister Smith has a window here. And this one will be open. So we'll put some beams there. Be our open window frame. Same on this side. There, gives us a nice open window. Now we want to take our dark wood beams and put them everywhere we have our seams. Just like that, but we'll do this all the way around the interior. And for my third tip, you can add a lot of visual interest with trim work. The dark wood gives some nice texture and contrast to both the wood and stone structures and really helps to break up the flatness. And there, now we covered all the trims with our dark wood beams. Alright, let's go ahead and add another window. Looks like a good spot. This one will just make half of it open, just for a little variety. There, now we have a nice cozy feel. Still have some trim work to do. Like that spot I missed. Here we'll do the same trick we did in the fireplace by replacing a 26-degree beam. There, it gives us a nice texture. We'll do the same thing on this side. That stairway looks pretty plain. We should fix that. Now take our 26 degrees beam. We'll snap one all the way like that. And we'll do the same thing here. There, that kind of divides it off the stairway and you can still see through it. And we'll just use ladders for our stairway down like that. Now for our outside door, we'll snap a regular door first, which will then let us snap in our gate door into the center. We'll put in our stone flooring. Now we'll put in our cellar wall. And now we have a finished cellar so we can keep our kegs of ale cool. Maybe put a kitchen down here. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, since this is a tap room, we're going to need some beer taps. So we're going to start with a vertical item stand, placing it with the knobby side facing to the left. So when we put our antler pickaxe on it, it faces to the front. Now the tricky part is getting this to line up so that the club that we place onto this stand phases right into the handle of the pickaxe. Let's try this. That doesn't look too bad, really. It's only like the 12th time I've done this. Now we can go ahead and do another one. This will be a double tap. Let's go ahead and we'll put our go ahead and put one stand there. Now we'll go ahead and cap this off with another item stand, but with the smooth side facing out. I'll go ahead and cover this up with a sign, dress it up a little bit. Now here, when working with color codes and alt symbols, I like to have a little cheat board where I already have all my symbols and the colors I want to use copied and pasted here, so I don't have to flip back and forth. So here I want this sign to be yellow. So go ahead and copy there. Add our color code. And I might want these 2 beer mugs. So I'll copy that. Paste there. There. Now we have a couple of happy beer mugs with our beer taps. Alright, back here we'll need a shelf. So we'll just go ahead and snap one in. So maybe the top shelf is reserved for top shelf meads. There, that's not too bad. There's some mugs ready to be filled. Here we have a bunch of clean mugs on the platter. Maybe they were just brought up from the kitchen downstairs. There's an order ready to be picked up, taken to a table. Alright, down here maybe we'll have some fancy glasses. And put some more meads. That fills that area up pretty nice. Yeah, we've got room for comfy chairs. There, somebody's sitting here having a bowl of nice hot wings, maybe a mug shake to wash it down. Alright, this table has a platter with maybe a couple loaves of bread, some sausages. It's like a build your own sandwich type thing. And maybe we have a lazy Susan in the center, has all the condiments on it. And maybe they sprung for the fancy glasses. And of course a nice pitcher of mead. Looks like a nice cozy spot to watch the sunset while you're having your dinner, drinking a few meads. Leaving a few mugs laying around is a good way to make the area look like it's being used. Alright, and over here we probably have another Lazy Susan. Of course we got some mugs, mug shakes, and a pitcher. Now maybe over here there's a couple boxes of ingredients. They are making a fresh batch of meat after all. So go ahead and make our box as usual, but instead of putting horizontal stands in, we're going to use verticals. There, just like that. Now we'll fill those up with turnips. And then we'll put our sign on to dress it up. There, and we have some fresh ingredients shipped straight from Misty Mountain hops. And now we have a box straight from Otto's Grotto and Barley Farm. Nothing but the finest ingredients for Brenna's brews. There, now we have some more quality barley ingredients, as well as a tool for Brewmeister Smith to stir the mash with. Now to add some color for banners, and by colorful I mean blue because that's what Brenda likes. There, that looks good. Do some up here. There, we have a little divider goes up to the stairs. Now we can dress up the inside with some rugs and a couple banners on the wall. Which the one downside to these round rugs is that they don't really fill up the space nice. But if you go ahead and overlap them like this, it kind of gives the appearance of them being runners and not quite so round. There, that's not too horrible. Now here we'll take some blue jute drapes, like that. There, that can be quite a bit fiddly for some reason, but it looks nice. Let's do another. There, just like that. That looks like enough color for upstairs. Now it's time to work on the cellar. Alright, the cellar area we're going to make to a kitchen storage area. So here we want to build a stand for a couple of fermenters. We'll give it some storage underneath in our usual way. Pulling the chest through so it pokes through the shutters. And before we put our fermenters in, I want to put a couple item stands. One there, and one there. And we want the height just so that our spear tip of our flint spear disappears into the floor without poking through the top, like that. Now we're going to take a fermenter and turn our tap to the inside. Put two of them like this, so they look like giant ale kegs, and the spears are the pipeline going up to the tap upstairs. Let's build a cage around it so they don't fall over. Alright, and over here we'll put in the cold storage, which is basically just a giant box. About 2 meters deep and 3 meters high. So if we're going to give it a false back, so we have a meter space in the back here so we could hide our golem trophies so we can get our misty cold effects. So here we'll just mark out where our wall's going to go. We can place one stand there and one stand there. Activate our bone mass power. There, now it looks kind of chilly. We'll add a floor in. along with some shelves. Alright, now we can fill our new refrigerator up. Up here at the top we'll have a couple bread boxes. Yep, Brenda buys all her bread from Leif's Loaves. This shelf maybe has some meads in it, cold storage or cooking ingredients, whatever you want them to be. Of course we got some deer ribs on this shelf. Down here they keep the sausages. Of course we always have room for lox meat. Of course maybe we got some egg cartons down here at the bottom shelf also, which of course came from Farmer Olaf. His fresh eggs are the best. Now we go ahead and trim this out. This one, maybe we'll make it look interesting and have one side doors open. Maybe one of the cooks is getting something out. Just add some crystal. Now we have one very easy and very nice looking cold storage unit. Maybe here we'll put a little countertop for some food prep. Can't have too much counter space really. Maybe here's somebody's building a sausage sandwich. So we need a loaf of bread, need a sausage, need a knife, and a platter. Now we can do a sink and range. Okay, for the sink, we want to put a bottom in right about there. We also want to put an item stand right about center-ish. That way we can put our antler pickaxe spigot in. Now we want to fill the inside with item stands. But we want to try and give it an alternating pattern like this so it doesn't just look... so it looks a little more natural. And on these empty spaces, we want to add about 3. Gives our cloudberry bubbles a little bit of texture. There, it almost resembles a sink full of bubbles. In the center here we'll do a little countertop. Do some more food prep, somewhere to keep your dishes. Speaking of dishes, we'll temporarily remove those wooden pieces and these 2 floor pieces so that we can put our pots and pans on, but we want this sunk down about like that. That looks about right. Get rid of that. Put our walls back. Replace one by one floor so it's about even with the walls, which makes it easier now for us to place our countertop, the overhang, like that. There, it looks like their dishwasher's been nice and busy. And now for our grill. Snap a couple 1x1 cage walls like that. Of our half wall, we'll shift place. That looks pretty good. Now we can take a stone floor and snap it into the bottom like that. We can go ahead and add some item stands for our Surtling trophies. Yeah, it looks hot. And we'll finish it off with some 1x1 cage floors. And of course we'll need a backsplash. Yeah, it looks like a fairly passable sink and grill area. Do need a range hood. So we want to snap one 2-meter beam there, and then replace another one on top of it, which gives us something to snap our 26-degree roof ridge. And we'll go ahead and snap a couple wall pieces to that. There, looks like an air vent. Now to make this area look nice and used, we'll throw some mugs down. Maybe put some sausages on the grill. Deer ribs are always a good thing too. Yeah, this is a nice little bar kitchen. Just a little splash of color and we'll call this done. And a little bit of light goes a long way. And we need some carpet, you know, so you don't slip. Make OSHA happy. There, maybe the fermenters are about done, so they got some empty bottles laying around, you know, so they can bottle up the ale. Yeah, this looks like a busy area. Alright, now to wind down our decorating phase, we just need to add a pub sign and some permanent lighting. Okay, here we're going to put a darkwood arch, which is where the signs will hang on. Then we will add 2 vertical item stands. Try and center it in the beam as best we can. And here we want to place a horizontal item stand right about there. Now we want to turn it 4 clicks so that the knobby thing points to the inside, and then we want to place it over top of this item stand right when it snaps over. It's like that. And now we'll just add our muck shake to it, and then we'll add a shield. Now we have 1 pub sign. Now just repeat for the other side. There, just like that. This one we'll put a sign over top. And just try to have them centered. Then we will come down here and we will copy our light blue color code. Now we will grab our beer mug symbol. Control C. We'll paste one at the front and in the back. Now let's do a little light on it so we can see it in the dark. Okay, here we just want to take a vertical item stand, have it at the same angle as our beam, and we're just going to place it up around there someplace. We'll add the Verger circlet. There, now our sign is all lit up. And one thing we can do here is add a little valance over our bar so we can put some lighting in. We'll do the same thing on this side, staying above the bar. Now we'll add 2 vertical item stands, 1 on each side. And we'll go ahead and put our circlets on those. Now the bar's lit up pretty nicely. Here maybe we'll just add some @ symbols. There, that looks pretty nice. Maybe Brenna's standing here pouring some ales. So we'll start with our 2-meter post. Go ahead and add a vertical item stand to that. And then we will place 1 armor stand there. Yeah, she looks busy. Let's do some more. Here we have Brewmeister Smith hard at work making the next batch of Brenna's ales. Here we have a nice couple enjoying a couple drinks, watching Brewmeister Smith hard at work. And here we have an old guy standing next to the fire. For some reason I really expect him to say something like stay a while and listen. Yeah, this doesn't look too bad. Now we can move on to the landscaping. Okay, now for the landscaping, we're just going to connect the pathway from in front of our blacksmith here and run it over to the brewhouse. And we'll also run another path from over here by our smelter and mining area, because why not? Maybe this path will connect it this way. Now let's add a couple street lamps. Okay, we'll start by putting a stone floor there, which will be the basis of our lamp, along with a temporary lacquer, 4-meter darkwood pole on the center. We'll replace a 1x1 stone wall right about there, and snap one next to that so it's centered. Dress it up. Add our darkwood arch, along with a temporary 1-meter beam for a snap point. Attach our 2-meter darkwood beam. Remove our temporary piece, and add our hanging brazier. Add some Surtling trophies. Now we have a permanent street light. And last but not least, little safety railing. Because this is a gathering place for drunk people after all. In this episode, we transformed a plain looking box into a nice looking brew house just by building it into the natural terrain, adding some texture by attaching a few additions, and by using some trim work with contrasting materials. Our brew house has a nice, well-lit bar area, complete with beer taps and some seating. On one side, we have a nice balcony, so our patrons can watch Brewmeister Smith working on the next batch of ale. And over here we have a nice looking area for our brewmeister to work while he makes the next batch of ale for our patrons. We built this nice looking dining area that features a flat wooden roof. And this nice looking fireplace with an open chimney design. And we added a nice looking kitchen, complete with a large cooler, grill, and sink. Yeah, this looks just like a nice cozy place that I'd like to hang out on the weekends. So if you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you won't miss any future episodes. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.